Grade 6. There I am. Again, another great start to the week with your assignments. Yeah, I can't believe how quick you guys get them up too, and the quality of the work is just amazing. Again, I really love seeing the positive comments that you give each other. I sound like a broken record, but it's a good broken record because I love seeing positivity during this time. So keep up the great work. Keep up the positive comments. It's really what I like to see. Okay, so we did start our new unit of algebra on Monday, and a bit of a different unit, adding variables into the mix. So hopefully you're practicing some questions. You don't need to post anything this week, but yeah, hopefully you're practicing in your notes or on your own personal computer or device or however you do it. It's a really interesting time to be studying algebra, I think. As I said a lot in the last video, as I realized I really like the idea of taking complex problems and breaking them down into simple steps. I really think that's applicable in today's world. So with me, as always, is my co-star, Berkeley the Wonder Dog. And if you're wondering why Berkeley is so glued to the window, she, like everyone else, is wondering why there is snow in May. She is, as you can see by her face, as baffled by it as everyone else is. So hopefully we can do a little algebra learning to get our minds off the strange weather. Okay, so we had really, with algebra, three things that I wanted to focus on. This is going to be a short unit. The two terms that I really want to focus on are variable and order of operations. For this week, we're just going to focus on variable to get you used to having letters in your equations and the idea of balancing your equation. And next week, we'll take a look at order of operations. I've already talked a lot about the real-world application. I do think balance and breaking down steps is really important, not just in higher education, but in life. We took a look at some variable balance questions, okay, adding a step in grade 6. So r plus 9 equals 14. You get the variable on one side, the numbers on the other side. You reverse the operation, so instead of plus, you have minus, and you get the answer r is 5. And then if you go back to the top, you see that that answer fits. 5 plus 9 is 14. Nice little logical balanced equation there. And there's two other examples. I don't feel like I need to have to keep going over these. I think you guys can pick them up as you go. But yeah, that's our introduction to variable and balancing of an equation. So hopefully some of your practice questions that you're doing on your own resemble this and do have this extra step, not just with addition and subtraction, but with multiplication and division. Or even if you wanted to try division first and then multiplication, okay? However you want to do it, however you want to challenge yourself is good for now. Next week, we'll get into a formal assessment, if you will, on it. But for this week, we'll focus on the practice. Okay, as I kind of put in the teaser trailer for Monday, we also had these types of questions, okay? So the variable being the unknown, right? So the unknown in this question, or these sets of questions, well, I guess we'll look at it as one big question, right? So we have symbols. Instead of letters, we have symbols. So let's follow the steps here. So we have here the little square. Square minus 4 equals 6. Triangle plus 7 equals 10. And based on that, what would square plus triangle be? So just to hear me say that out loud is a strange way of thinking of an equation. But the great thing about algebra is it is a different way of looking at equations, okay? So once you figure out how to identify the variable, the questions in algebra seem to be pretty straightforward math, okay? Whether it be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So let's take a look at this step by step. All right, so what is the only number that you would subtract 4 from to get 6? It's the only number you would subtract 4 from to get 6. And let's put our answer right here, okay? So the only number you would subtract 4 by to get 6 is 10. Okay, let's just move it up here. So we know that 10 subtract 4 equals 6. So that's sound. All right, so let's go to the next step. What is the only number plus 7 that would give you 10? Well, we know, and we'll put it here, the only number you could add to 7 to get 10 is 3. So now we know that square equals 10, triangle equals 3, and we can solve for square and triangle. Again, step by step. And notice too, we're going to balance the equation. So all the variables will be on this side and our answer will be here. So they want to know now, what is square plus triangle? Well, if square is 10 and triangle is 3, 10 plus 3 is 13. So there's our answer. And again, you know, when I started this question, you may look at it and go, this doesn't make any sense. Square minus 4 equals 6. Triangle plus 7 equals 10. Square plus triangle equals blank. But then once you start to look at breaking it down into steps and solving for each individual variable, it's a pretty straightforward question. Again, the beauty of algebra. Break it down into steps, balance your equation to get your final answer. And this is really a good lead-in to more complex problems that you might face, well, you will face in intermediate and high school. Okay, start with a complex question, break it down. This is actually using what we talked about before, PEDMAS, or BEDMAS as it's known, but we'll get to that later, to get your final answer. Okay, and again, I can't stress it enough. If a question like that you just saw worries you, don't worry, because by going through these smaller steps, by the time you do get to facing these questions, you're going to be ready for it, you're going to be experienced in it, you're going to have practice in it, and you're going to do just fine. Right? So here's a couple of, I love the Far Side. I was very lucky as a kid. My parents got me Far Side cartoons. I know they're in the classroom, the Far Side collection I have. So one of the many things I love about Gary Larson and the Far Side is that he always includes scientists in his cartoon panels. They're always single pane cartoons, and he always has a funny take on them. So this one I really like here. So here it reads, now that desk looks better. Everything's squared away. Yes, sir, squared away. And why is that funny? Well, who's this guy here trying to figure out his equation? E equals mc cubed. E equals mc to the power of 4. E equals, and suddenly he looks over and he hears squared away. E equals mc. Maybe that's how he figured it out. Okay. Maybe this young lady here, while cleaning his desk, solved that beautiful theory for him. Just the genius of Gary Larson. And here's one for Berkeley the Wonder Dog. Berkeley doesn't want to be left out. She is the co-star. So here again, you get to see it almost looks like an algebra question, right? You see the letters there, the variables, the balance of the equation. Larson was fascinated by science and mathematics, so he always found a way to put it in his cartoons. And the caption reads, "Oh, look at that, Schuster. Dogs are so cute when they're trying to comprehend quantum mechanics." So, yeah, I had to share that because it's the beauty of algebra, and it's also the beauty of Gary Larson all wrapped into one. So I couldn't help myself there. Just a little way to close off this video today. I'm going to give you guys Prodigy questions on algebra today, and I'm going to start off really basic. Okay, so there's not going to be an extra step. It's not going to be an overly complex question. It's going to be pretty straightforward for you. And I just want to show you what a Prodigy question will look like for algebra. So, okay. Find the value for the expression below if W equals 5. So again, pretty straightforward. You have your reminder circles here. There is no extra step to this one, but it's just getting you used to these terms: value, expression, showing you the variable. So again, if we know that W equals 5, 5 minus 3, the answer is 2. Right. Just to get you introduced to algebra on Prodigy. They're going to be pretty straightforward questions. They will get a little more challenging as we go, but I just wanted to show you that for today when you go on and you face those questions, okay? All right. Okay, so that's it for today. Again, keep practicing. So if you want to go and, well, maybe you want to draw single pane cartoons about scientists. That would be pretty cool. But if you want to today start drawing maybe symbol questions, okay? You guys would love this, I think. It's kind of a different way of communicating. So if you want to create some of your own complex symbol questions, go for it, okay? And if today you want to practice some multi-step questions like this, keep going with that. Keep practicing on your own. Keep coming up with your own equations. I actually think with the amazing creativity I'm seeing on your assignments, you guys could have come up with some great questions for this. All right. So yeah, so just use your imagination. That's the other cool thing with algebra is on assignments like this, you can use your imagination and come up with a balanced equation. All right, and just for practice now, we won't look into assessment or anything. Okay, so Berkeley seems pretty happy with that lesson. It seemed to have calmed her down and taken her away from the snow blizzard outside. So hopefully you guys have a good day and keep up the great work. Mr. Griffin out.